Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 5. I'm meteorologist Gabe Meaner, walking through what is a toasty pattern, but we're also going to be talking all things storms. And unfortunately, we do have a level 1 severe weather threat on our Saturday. You can see that encompassing parts along and east of Highway 45, still sitting at level 1 potential, meaning reports are going to be limited, but reports are still possible. And a little bit of a stormy setup in advance of that as well. So while heat concerns do continue, we will have some of that rain-cooled relief in the form of those rain chances this evening and into your Friday as well, including a few storms mixing in them as well. Some strong storms are possible. That even does include our Friday. Not expecting a lot of those to be severe, but by Saturday, perhaps a couple severe thunderstorms are possible. We'll get into that getting further into our futurecast in just a moment. The first 12, we're keeping our coverage around 10%, and that means a large portion of us not going to be dealing with any drops of rainfall. So while you get that last minute to-do list together for school, as we all prepare for the first day of the school year tomorrow, well, might have to dodge a few rain chances, but overall it's going to be a beautiful evening. Enjoy time with family and enjoy those last few moments of summer. 92 at 6, so as we head further into the evening, those temperatures are going to fall. 81 by 9, 77 by midnight, and while we're all snoozing heading into that first day, going to be in the low 70s. But a beautiful sight outside right now, even in Greenville, where that's an area where we're dealing with some of those heavier downpours. This is basically the only area dealing with downpours as of 5 o'clock on our Thursday. Still 91 degrees out there, even with that rain-cooled air, so toasty conditions, rain or shine. 93 degrees in Maben, brought to you by the folks there at Fastnet at 4 County Electric. You can see 93 for those actual temperatures, 111 for feels like values, and not only is that over in Maben, but we're also seeing that out in Iuka, 90, feeling like 99. And this is one of the things that we've talked about, how the further north and east you go, the better those feels like values will be. And I know folks in Tishomingo County are not complaining one bit about feels like values in the upper 90s. So temperatures across the region, we're in the upper 80s, Iuka, Holly Springs, Red Bay, low 90s, Hamilton, Boonville, and Tupelo, but mid to upper 90s, Eupora, Grenada, Belzona, Kosciuszko, Louisville. So folks, it is still hot, but we're just getting better than where it was at the start of the week. So that's where I want us to look at it as a glass half full, not a glass half empty type forecast. Feels like value is going to be in those mid to upper 90s as we saw in Iuka on our camera up there, and throughout the far northeast portion of Mississippi. That's what we're looking at for a good bit of us. But the further south and west you go, we're talking 112 Greenville, 113 Belzona, 106 Kosciuszko. I mean, we could have argued some extreme heat warnings possible for this afternoon. Either way, there were advisories, so the alerts were still there, and we still needed to prepare whether it was orange or purple showing up on our heat-related alert map. So there we're getting a look at those current alerts, and I will say, getting into our Friday, these will extend into our Friday because the temperatures today and the feels like values today are going to carry over into Friday as well. A rinse and repeat type forecast. So unfortunately, not done with those toasty conditions just yet. Our mom adjusted Doppler radar providing that rain-cooled relief really south of our region and working its way into Greenville, out there towards Rolling Fork. That's the best chance of rainfall tonight. And the further south you go, the better your chances as well. Hattiesburg, Meridian, Jackson, watching for you as well. But North Mississippi, not only are we calm, we're clear as well with plenty of sunshine. We are looking up at that next frontal system all the way up there towards the Dakotas and down towards Nebraska. As that works its way towards the south and east, that's where that severe weather potential does eventually work its way into North Mississippi. And we'll, of course, time that out getting further into the broadcast as well. But what you need to know tonight, while a chance of rainfall is possible, the further north you go, the less likely those chances are. That's why we're only keeping it around 10 to maybe 20% at best, but that might be pushing it. So we're going to keep it around 10% for those early evening hours. And once that sun does set, those showers and storms will start to dissipate out as well, as we see here on our futurecast. 10 p.m., not much activity, and even into the overnight hours, we're not going to be dealing with any rumbles of thunder. We're not going to be dealing with any downpours by any means, so it's going to be a pretty dry forecast. So if you've not watered the garden just yet today, there is still time to do so, and you're probably going to want to, because if you're counting on the rainfall, Not going to see a lot of that tonight. Into our Friday morning, already seeing some of those pop-up showers, but there's that warm front extending off of that frontal system we just looked at. That's going to begin to work its way towards the north and east, allowing us to enter the warm sector and allowing that unstable environment to mix into our area as well. That's going to be by mid to late afternoon. You can see coverage there around 30%. That's going to be where we start to get some of those potentially strong thunderstorms. That's what we'll time out using our futurecast coming up in just a moment, right here in the next 60 seconds. We're also going to be talking Saturday's severe weather threat, what to expect with that. That all as Mississippi Live continues in the next 60, but here in the next 60 seconds, we're talking all things North Mississippi, what's happening in your area. Our Emily Leonard has the very latest for us coming up right after the break.
In 1998, we needed help with the loan. A friend of ours had been using First Choice Bank. First Choice has been helping us ever since.
We just love the service. The tellers are wonderful. They know our names. Why would we want to bank anywhere else?
Every legend starts somewhere.
Not with perfection, but with the decision.
The decision to show up, work harder, and believe this place can change everything.
At Northeast, you're more than just a number.
We're built on opportunity, and our students are willing to rise to the occasion.
Here, success isn't handed to you. It's earned.
You don't just leave with a degree, you leave as a legend.
Looking for a place to finally call home? At Tupelo Home Center, we make it easy. From finding the perfect home to making financing a breeze, we'll take care of everything. Your new home is closer than you think. Pre-qualify today at TupeloHomecenter.com.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on Mississippi Live. I'm Emily Leonard. We start with an update to a story you saw here on Mississippi Live. The Itawamba County School District named a new interim superintendent last week. This is Dr. Mitzi Moore. She has more than 30 years of experience in education. But Thursday, former Itawamba County Superintendent Austin Alexander told our partner, the Itawamba Times, that he was fired by the district board on June 4th. The district has not confirmed that, and they told the paper they do not discuss personnel matters. It's been a long time coming, but it is almost done, you guys. The Polk Street Bridge in Corinth is closer to completion. Well, actually, the bridge is done, but the crews are now paving and putting the final details on everything. Mayor Ralph Dance says that the city hopes to wrap this thing up by mid-August, well ahead of the contract deadline at the end of September. The street's been closed for about 16 months for the work. Engineers say the bridge had to be raised about 5 feet for railroad clearance, a very tight squeeze with the cemetery just next door. It's the final piece of a grant-funded project improving routes to the Corinth Civil War Interpretive Center. Planning dates back to 2015. Well, the ribbon is cut. The doors are open at the new medical examiner's office in Oxford. Several local and state officials there for Thursday morning's event, like Monroe County Coroner Alan Gurley, District Attorney Jason Herring, and the Public Safety Commissioner Sean Tyndall, cutting that blue ribbon. DPS says the goal is to have a facility that can compete with any medical examiner's office in the country. For example, there is a $500,000 x-ray machine that can rotate up and down to find the bullets and other evidence in body. This is the third location in Mississippi. The main one is down in Pearl. There's a satellite office in Biloxi. There's that x-ray machine, by the way. Work on the new office or in the new office is expected to start next month. Also in Oxford, I don't think we're going to stop talking about the ice storm from January anytime soon. But the Tennessee Valley Authority is helping Ole Miss recover and replace trees damaged by the ice. And there was a lot of damage. TVA donated $50,000 to help restore the tree canopy after the ice storm destroyed so many of the trees on campus. Ole Miss authorities estimate as much as 10% loss of tree cover in some of the wooded areas on campus. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us here on Mississippi Live. I'm Emily Leonard. Have a great night.
Boys and Girls Club of North Mississippi presents Dance Like the Stars 2026, Saturday, August 8th at the Huntington Bank Arena. Floor seating is $50 and general admission is $20. All proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of North Mississippi. For more information, visit bgcnms.org.
Hi, I'm Mississippi Live Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. Reserve your St. Jude Dream Home giveaway ticket by July 31st, and you'll be eligible to win the house and the early bird prize, a $10,000 gift card to Brooks Grocery. Visit dreamhome.org to reserve your ticket for $100 and help St. Jude Children's Research Hospital continue its life-saving work. Then watch Mississippi Live on October 29th to see who wins the house and the other prizes. Reserve your ticket today.
Growing up in a farming community, I've always been fascinated with the weather. But in 2024, my draw to be a mother became stronger.
So I took a step back from my job until Matt gave me a call. Mississippi Live allows me to be fully present at home while also getting to do my dream job as a broadcast meteorologist.
Wake up with me every weekday morning on Mississippi Live.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, we are continuing to talk about that level 1 risk in place for our Saturday. That's going to be for folks along and east of Highway 45, extending into northwest Alabama and even central and eastern parts of Alabama as well. So the focal point out there towards Alabama, but this is all a result of that frontal system that we were talking about last night and really extending over those next couple of days as that builds into the southeast and eventually into our area by the weekend. So today, no severe weather, but with that being said, there are still a few thunderstorms that are working their way through the region, especially down there towards Louisville and Macon. You see a few of these boundaries allowing for additional development with the daytime heating as well as that moisture still in the air. So we do expect a few pop-up showers and storms along and south of 82, and that does extend out there towards Greenville and Hollandale as well. Going to keep eyes on that, but you've seen the strikes come down, so the intensity on these storms coming down as well. So fortunately for us, we're not expecting anything strong or severe. As we do work our way, and let me toss it over to analysis mode real quick, I do want to look down out of our Jackson radar site real quick. So let's put it on our radar mode and let's go out of Jackson and look at a few of these storms because these are a little bit more intense. So for our Max South viewers down south of our regular coverage area, there are going to be a few rumbles for you. Actually, let me turn on those lightning strikes so we can make sure to see that. But a little bit more electricity up in the sky, 909 strikes. Compare that to the 49 strikes we're seeing in the northern half of the Magnolia State. So a little bit of a different environment, but that's right where that stationary front is set up. One of the things that I'm looking at too is that little outflow boundary already starting to form out there towards Bolton, allowing for additional thunderstorms, and that's colliding with another outflow boundary towards Crystal Springs. That's going to be where some of these storms do start to flare up a little bit more. So if you're traveling along I-55 south of Jackson, we're watching some I'm going to say turbulent weather, but I guess it'd be turbulent conditions for traveling, that's for sure. I wouldn't want to be in a plane in these storms. So yes, some additional thunderstorm development is possible, including a few trying to get on the stronger side, but fortunately we have remained below severe limits so far. I do want to look at our storm reports, and fortunately not seeing any in our area. We have to go down to Florida before a few more of those start to populate in, and you can see having a few severe thunderstorms as well. So it makes sense. It's unfortunate, but it makes sense of why those reports have remained out of our region. Looking at that level 1 threat, that does extend right where those reports are starting to come in. So we're not expecting reports here in Mississippi, honestly, except for that far southeast corner, but even then should be on the more limited side of things as we get into those overnight hours and into the start of our Friday, the final day of the work week, and of course the start of school for many of us here in North Mississippi. Right now, Cleveland, 88 degrees, feeling like 100. Sun is shining. Does look like we have a little bit of cloud cover there in the distance, but that's the thing. It's going to be some of those cumulus clouds that bubble up and perhaps produce a shower. How about that? Down in Macon, we have the end of the rainbow reaching the ground there in Noxubee County. That's a beautiful spectacle there. How often are we able to find the target and get the rainbow on camera? So shout out North Mississippi Storm Chasers. If this is a view, it's probably a view that you want to capture for sure. The folks there at Fastnet providing us that view down there in Macon, but it shows you that the showers are coming, but sunshine not too far away, allowing for those rainbows to take place. How about that for a Thursday 5 o'clock broadcast? That's got to make you feel good. 91 degrees in New Albany. No rainbows up there, but plenty of sunshine. Should be an enjoyable afternoon for any of those last-second summer plans. And if that does include going to the park, you're not going to want to miss out on it. 89 degrees by 7, 81 by 9, 78 by 11. Probably not at the park by 11, but at least those next couple of hours looking good to go. And the bulk of that 10 to 20% actually down south of 82. So if you're in New Albany, Tupelo, out there towards Oxford, we should be good to go for any of those park plans. Now let's watch Futurecast into the sunset time frame and into those overnight hours. Already by 10 o'clock, I'm not expecting to be tracking any showers with you here in North Mississippi. We'd actually have to look a little bit more south for some of those showers to take place. This a result of that frontal boundary, that stationary front, allowing for additional development into that 10, 11 o'clock time frame. But even by midnight, those starting to dissipate out. So what we'll be left with here in Mississippi are just some partly cloudy skies, and it is going to be an enjoyable evening heading into a beautiful end to the work week. That stationary front going to allow additional storm chances though, so we're not out of the woods just yet, but at least the start of the day as good as it gets for this time of year. And what a great day to start the school year on. 71 degrees in Boonville, 69 actually showing up there towards Red Bay. So whenever you get some upper 60s in the forecast, we have no complaints about that. 73 Water Valley, 74 Greenwood, 75 Cleveland and Clarksdale. So it is going to be more mild for some or more mild for others, but hey, upper 60s at any point in North Mississippi and Northwest Alabama, no complaints at all. 77 by 8, so we're ramping up those temperatures quickly. 91 by noon and 92 by 3. So a similar temperature setup tomorrow afternoon with what we're getting right now. With that being said, we have better rain chances tomorrow. So that's going to limit how high those temperatures do get for a few of us getting into those afternoon plans and even wrapping up the school day. So as we get into our Friday, here's a look at the start of the day. Still pretty dry, but watch as we go towards lunchtime and even into the afternoon. What we get is this warm sector to start to build in a little bit more, and I do believe the positioning on it probably off by a couple of counties. I would move this a little bit more towards Bruce and Houston around that time frame and working its way towards the north and east. When that happens, this is where your convection takes place, including a few stronger storms possible. Lee County right there towards, looks like Shannon, out towards Houston and Okolona watching for you, and even up here towards Senatobia and out towards Tunica County and out there towards Sardis Lake, we're watching for you. So that's where those thunderstorms will start to build in and take place, including a few on the stronger side. Now, we are not under a severe weather risk. Not yet. There is some potential of that being extended. We'll look at that coming up tonight at 6. But it does still have some potential for some of those storms to perhaps be impactful. Subsevere gusts, you heard Emily mention it with the ice storm, could knock down a few of those limbs that are susceptible after January's ice storm. So unfortunately, we're going to continue to talk about getting into our Friday and even into our Saturday. Now, temperature-wise, we're going to be in the low to mid-90s. Feels like values up around 105 to 110 in spots. So that's why those excessive heat advisories have been extended into Friday, is to accommodate for that oppressive heat that could very well be dangerous if we do not prepare and stay hydrated and stay cool. So Friday night, we're still watching some of those lingering showers and storms, and with us being in the warm sector, I'm not ruling out some of those overnight showers and storms as well. Usually in the summer setup, those start to dissipate out. Not exactly going to be the setup Friday night into Saturday. I do still think that we'll hear the pitter-patter of rainfall on the roof overnight, but I'm not expecting any severe weather until we get more into our Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. 73 to start in Boonville and Iuka, 75 Columbus, 76 Tunica, Clarksdale, and Cleveland, even 77 towards Greenville. Now our normal 73, this is slightly above that mark, but it is a little bit higher than where we'll be Friday morning. So that's showing that unstable air starting to get in a little bit more in that warm sector, doing exactly what it does, warming things up for the start of the day and those temperatures ramping up as the day goes on. Cloud cover going to be a limiting factor, and the rain chances as well going to be a limiting factor. But one thing that I'm watching is the coverage is not overly intense. So this is not going to be a story for everybody. But who gets those rain showers and storms? They are going to be on the stronger side potentially. And you can see where those start to flare up right along the Alabama and Mississippi state line. That's going to be where those frontal boundaries, the cold front starts to move in a little bit more. Again, probably reposition that a little bit further towards the east. And that's going to be allowing that lift to take place. We'll have that unstable air behind the warm front. And that's going to be the two things colliding, those ingredients coming together to put together what could be a few stronger storms. Now, as we get further into Alabama, you can see how that really starts to shift. 5, 6 o'clock, things really ramping up towards Jasper and Coleman. So if you're traveling along 22 out towards Birmingham, we're going to be monitoring those conditions for you. Our meteorologist, Caleb Bettelblut, will have the very latest, including some additional thunderstorm development possible by 9 and 10 o'clock on Saturday before things start to calm up a bit more by Sunday morning. So Friday into Saturday, the days that we are watching, you can see how that frontal boundary has an effect on our temperatures as it moves through the area, going to provide some of that rain-cooled air. 84 in Hamilton, 82 in Red Bay. Whew, that's going to feel very nice, but it is going to have some of that rain-cooled air with it, so that's why those temperatures aren't as high as, say, Vernon or Columbus or Starkville sitting at 92, even Clarksdale and Water Valley coming in 91, 92 degrees, so it's going to feel better, but a lot of that is due to the rain and the front making its effects known here in North Mississippi. And with that being said, there's a chance at some heat advisories on Saturday out there in the Delta, but I do believe that's going to be trimmed back significantly, if not all the way, getting into those Saturday afternoon plans. And if not by Saturday, then Sunday's already looking better than Saturday. 86 degrees, and the effects of the front, we're going to be behind that front, so it's going to be a bit drier and it's also going to be a bit cooler, so that's why it is going to be a great weekend with temperatures. Just have to dodge a few showers and watch for the latest on our Mama Justice Doppler radar Saturday afternoon for perhaps a stronger thunderstorm or two. So getting into our Sunday should be much drier. Monday, Tuesday, continuing those dry conditions, should be plenty of sunshine getting into next week, so should be a great week for the start of school, right? I know students out there are excited. I know my wife, she actually is excited for the school year. Been talking about it all week. She just wishes she could bring Cruz along with her to the classroom. So we'll have to make some visits here and there. But nonetheless, we're excited about the start of school year. We'll be changing over the pool day forecast to school day forecast here soon. So either way, it is right around the corner. And heading into tomorrow, we'll be featuring a few pictures of those first day of school pictures. So make sure to send them in. All right, as we wrap up the broadcast tonight, make sure to download that Mississippi Live Weather app. And if you have any students out there, download it on their tablet or their phone, so that way they can be tracking those current conditions with you. And if they have a thunderstorm pop up in their area, they'll be able to look at that as well. Of course, after school, not during school, but nonetheless, we'll be live after school and before school, giving you the latest on what you need to know. That schedule coming up at 5, 6, 9, and 10 on your evenings, 6:30, 7, and 7:30 on your morning commute. So tune in for the very latest. Our next broadcast coming up here in about half an hour. We'll have the latest news and weather and everything you need to know as you go about those Friday plans coming up on Mississippi Live. We'll see you then.
As a bankruptcy firm, Mitchell, Cunningham & Bowling realizes many people are worried about their finances. We're here to guide you through the next steps to restart your life with easy video appointments. New clients don't have to leave home to get information about becoming debt-free. Also, convenient in-office appointments are available at the low cost of $340 upfront for a Chapter 13. You can be on your way to being debt-free. Contact Mitchell, Cunningham & Bowling today or visit our website at mcdebtfree.com. We are here to help you.